So I was asked about my diseases here at work, and asked to do quite a few different things, so I figured I would just talk a little bit about that. I have quite a few different diseases, and the major one that's affected my life is my ulcerative colitis. I was diagnosed back in 2010, sorry, and it took all the way up until about 2012 to get it under control. The only thing that I've ever had help me with my diseases is shots, either shots or some type of, what I had was a infusion. I couldn't think of the word. I had infusions for almost, I think, 6 years I had infusions. Let's see. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, for 6 years I had infusions. And it worked great for me. And I was able to stay under control, and my weight was fine, and everything was good. I was able to eat everything I wanted except for milk products. And then up until 2018, which was this year, at the beginning of this year, that medication stopped working and I had to switch over to doing shots. Well, the shots aren't that great. I have to give myself the shots, and they cause me to gain a lot of weight, but other than that, they are still working for me. And then in the beginning of this year, once all of the stress happened, I was having some issues with my bladder. About the end of last year, my bladder started having, I couldn't hold my bladder. It felt like I was having UTIs constantly. All of last year and the year before, I was constantly on antibiotics. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I thought maybe that my body was going through something that was related to the drugs I was on. So we tried taking me off of drugs. We tried putting me on drugs. I'm on over 20 medications. So we stopped with the medications on some of them, like gabapentin was hurting my bladder. So I stopped the gabapentin. Then we tried doing some checking for my bladder. I finally went to a urologist this year, and they checked my bladder, and we found out that I have interstitial cystitis, which is a very common disease. It's an autoimmune disease, and it's where you have cracks in your bladder that cause pain. And when the pain is there, you have to, your bladder doesn't drain properly. So you always have a little bit there. So until you actually have that under control, any type of caffeinated beverage hurts you. It causes it to back up. It causes you to have pain. So you're going to feel like you have a UTI. Any type of like coffee, you can't have coffee. That's like my one thing I miss so bad. I already have issues with my esophagus with the coffee, because I take so many medications that already affect my esophagus and everything, and I've always had problems with it coming back up. So I have GERD, which is another, like, I don't know if you want to call it a disease. It's just a problem I've had, where every time I eat something, my body kind of, the acid kind of boils up into the bottom of my esophagus at my stomach level. And so when I get that, sorry, I'm looking around because I'm in the break room at work. So there's no one else in here, but I keep looking just to make sure. I'm comfortable talking about it, but not everybody's comfortable with listening about diseases and stuff. So I just want to make sure that I'm not talking about it in front of people that aren't comfortable listening. So my GERD makes it hard for me to eat anything acidic-y. So like pastas that have sauces, which are like one of my favorite things. Any type of like fresh tomato pastas, it's hard for me to eat. Anything that is high in acidic fruit. I love fruit, but like the berries and stuff are really hard for me to eat, which is like one of my favorites as well. But that affects my upper GI, and my lower GI already has issues. So they said that I don't have Crohn's yet, but it runs in my family on my dad's side. And there's a lot of things that are on my mom's side that I'm afraid that I might get as well. So the food really makes a difference. Soda is a really big kicker in my butt. I really shouldn't drink it. I only drink it on occasion. And this is my soda right here. I try to take pre-leaf. It's called Pre-Leaf. And if I take that when I drink my soda, I seem to have less of a reaction in both my GERD and in my bladder, because it takes the acidicness out of the food I eat or drink. And when I do that, it helps. This is just my part one on what's going on in my my diseases. I also have psoriasis, and when I take my shots that take away my immune system, well, part of my immune system, it lowers my immune system count of my white blood cells, which are what attacks everything in my system. It attacks my bladder, it attacks my colon, and it attacks my skin. I have psoriasis, but when I take those shots, it takes away the stuff that affects all of that. So it takes care of everything. And I also have fibromyalgia, which is really just caused by the fact that I'm not exercising enough, because I'm in so much pain because of these diseases that I don't exercise the parts of my body that need to be exercised. So I'll talk more about this the next time I actually have to go back to work. So, and I'm also going to do some DIYs about things. I make my own clothes sometimes. Like this skirt I made it a while ago, so it's been a little bit since I made it, but I love making projects like that. I usually make bows as well. I didn't make these, I got these here at Walmart, but I really enjoy doing things on my own, and it really helps with self-esteem if you're able to do things on your own and take little projects on. I like making clothes. I really suck at it sometimes, but I like making like quilts and stuff, because you can really help yourself feel better if you do something that feels like an accomplishment in your life. And I think I'm not the only one. I like to breed snakes. I like to garden. And if I see my plants are flourishing, I know that I've done something that is amazing. And I think that other people should also feel amazing in their life. Even if they don't have a disease, I think that they should, you know, not sit at home and watch TV. I also go to college, and I'm trying to learn how to be a vet tech. I work in retail right now. I work in a pharmacy, and I think that everyone should have something that they love doing, as well as, you know, having projects at home that they do, like either garden or maybe sewing or cooking. Some people like to bake. I like to bake as well. I'm not that great at it, but you know, hey, we all have something that we like to do. If you like my my video, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll do more.